Some people didn't heal, they just got quieter, less reactive, less emotional, less expressive, but not healed, just quieter. Because healing makes you lighter and hiding makes you quieter. From the outside, those two things look like the same, but what's happening on the inside is that people feel completely different. Calm isn't always healing. You stopped arguing, you stopped reacting, you stopped explaining, and everyone said, they look at you and they say, hey, you've grown. But what if you didn't grow? What if you just got tired? Because sometimes maturity isn't healing, it's exhaustion. You didn't stop caring, you just stopped believing it would change anything. Sometimes what looks like growth is just pain that gave up speaking. We call this high functioning pain. That moment where you still show up, you still smile, you still work, you still function. You just don't let people close anymore because healing opens you, hiding protects you, and you become very good at protection over time. You didn't become healed, you just became harder for people to reach. And there's a dangerous shift that happened. This is where it gets really dangerous. You stop reacting, but you also stop feeling. You stopped explaining, but you also stopped being known. You stopped expecting because disappointment became predictable. And now your peace is distance. Your calm is withdrawal. Silence can be wisdom, but sometimes it's just pain that doesn't trust anyone anymore. But here's the good news. All because you learned to hide doesn't mean you forgot how to heal, because hiding is a survival skill, and survival skills can be unlearned. Healing always starts quietly, not with some big conversations, but when there's that small honesty. When you start saying, that hurt me, or I'm still working through that, I don't want to carry this alone. See, healing doesn't demand vulnerability with everyone. It really just demands honesty with yourself. And healing doesn't start when you open to everyone. It starts when you stop hiding from yourself. Here's how you know you're healing again. You don't just stop reacting. You start feeling safely again. You don't just withdraw. You choose where to open up. You don't just protect yourself. You begin trusting selectively, because healing isn't reckless. Healing is something that we do with intentionality. Healing isn't becoming open again. It's becoming wise enough to open up in the right places. Here's the thing that no one expects. You've just survived enough to be careful. And that's not reckless, that's wisdom. Because maybe you didn't get quieter because you broke. You got quieter because you were learning who deserved to hear your voice. And maybe you didn't stop speaking. Maybe you just stopped speaking where you were never truly heard. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who's been strong quietly. And if you haven't already, subscribe to The Pain Project, because we're putting language to the things people carry silently and helping people move from survival to healing.